Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all is well. It's your guy J Love and Light, guys. So today's I'm going to be talking about Dominican culture and has the Dominican culture changed? Yes, how has it changed? That's what we're going to be talking about. I have two interviews that's going to be coming in and sharing their views on Dominican culture versus, Dominican culture in the United States opposed to Dominican culture in Dominican Republic. So, what is Dominican culture known for? It's known for European, African, and Taino cultural elements are most prominent in Dominican food, family structure, religion, and music. Dominicans are welcoming people with a great sense of humor who are very happy to share all the things they consider to be muy dominicano. Dominicans are very fond of dancing merengue and bachata. So these are the kind of things that are part of Dominican culture. And like I said, I'm going to be bringing on two interviews, two people. One is they're both Dominican. One lives in the United States, and the other they both live in the United States. One was born in the Dominican Republic, and the other was born in the United States. So, without further ado, guys, I'm going to be bringing them on right now as we speak. Hold on, guys. Just give me 1 minute. Invite. Okay. Oh, both are born. Both are born Dominican. They both are born in Dominican Republic. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 minute. Add to stage. Okay. All right, guys. So we have Flexi Mundo and Tapicio. Is it
Topacio.
Tapicio? Huh? What's the pronunciation?
Topacio.
Tapacio Pares. ¿Qué lo que? ¿Qué lo que?
Like,
uh, th- Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate you guys. So the reason why I brought you guys on is because I wanted to talk about Dominican culture. Has it changed? Based on what I've seen and read, because I follow a lot of Dominican channels. I'm into. I like watching, bachata and merengue. And there's this one particular channel that I watch on Instagram, and I think they're located in. I don't know the pronunciation. I think it's Haino. Haino. You guys familiar with that city? Haino. I don't know what the pronunciation is. Haino. Haino. Do you guys
Ahí,
know
bro,
the
ahí.
city? Haino. Haino or what's the
Jaime,
word?
Aina.
Jaime, Jaime, Jaime,
Yeah,
Jaime.
okay, exactly. So they're, I watch a lot of they're known for pachata. I mean, they're known for it. Now, what I've seen in the comment section is, and these are coming from old school Dominicans. They're like, they don't like the new style of the pachata that's being danced. They feel like it's a mockery of Dominican culture. So I want to get you guys' intake on that. Overall, have you guys seen a change in the Dominican culture, and what do you guys think about that? Have you seen a change? Let's say in the States and in DR, okay? Have you guys seen a change in the Dominican culture? And if so, what kind of changes have you guys seen? I'm going to start with you, Flexi Mundo.
Uh, I mean, we can start with Topacio if anything you
Okay,
want.
Tapasio, okay. All right, Tapasio. Tell me, what changes have you seen in Dominican culture, if there is any?
Right now, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Everything changed, Everything is different. I prefer talking my language. I'm more
Uh,
comfortable. Everything is different, A few years ago, that kids can play outside, example, the name in Dominican name, June. Not June that month. It's one game.
uh-huh.
Play outside. Um, example, in Christmas, that people pay for paint that is tree, the different colors. It's Christmas. This Diciembre.
Mhm.
Um, right now, I don't see nothing. Everything is very different.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't see kids play outside. The security in Dominican Republic changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That don't play right now outside. Um, has a lot of change.
Okay. One thing I will say, and this is coming from the old school Dominicans. They say that the youth now, the joven gente dominicanos are making Dominican look bad, in terms of just overall the music, because I feel like some old school Dominicans feel like the music of Dominican Republic is fading out in terms of like bachata, and merengue. That kind of music is fading out and it's being replaced by reggaeton. I so they're saying that the cultural and the music sense is changing. Do you guys see that
A lot.
a
Yeah,
lot?
Yeah.
that's true. Example. Um, Merengue team. I love the merengue.
Uh-huh.
Bachata.
And right now, though, has the new talents for merengue. Everybody wanna singer dembow or something that and the people in Dominican Republic or Dominicans in the world listen to merengue. That's some merengue to the 80s.
Uh-huh. Hold
Don't
on,
have
someone.
a talent for
Yeah.
merengue.
Mm. Yeah, because that's one of the things, in the Dominican culture. I come from a community of
Mhm.
a diverse community of Latin, Black, Puerto Rican, Dominicans. Where I'm from, though, not much. It was back in the '80s. It wasn't so many Dominicans living in Long Island. More so Puerto Ricans. You know what I mean? Opposed to Dominicans. Not to say that
Yeah.
we didn't have Dominicans
Hello?
¿Se fue?
¿Qué was it? I think he's coming back.
Can you guys hear
Yeah,
me?
he is. Yeah, we got him. Hmm.
Okay, sorry about
Yeah.
that.
It's like in
Yeah,
the back in the I think from like the 70s. The Dominicans started coming here like during the 60s, I think, right? During los tiempos de Trujillo, no, si no me equivoco. Like
Eh,
Dominicans were coming in, Dominicanos, they were coming into the U.S. during los tiempos de Trujillo, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
And Puerto Ricans, obviously, they came before that because the whole colonization with the Puerto Rican and the U.S. with the the thing that happened. So
uh-huh.
yeah, Dominicans did come late after before, like they did come afterwards. So the culture
Yola.
was like, huh?
Yo-
Yeah, Yola in boats, as she says. So
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like, as I was saying, like, growing up in Long Island, it was a diverse community for me.
Mhm,
Um, but one thing I will say is that, and you guys tell me I may be wrong, but in terms of like the Dominican culture here in the United States, I find it that it's more segregated than it actually is in DR. In
mhm,
DR, everybody pretty much embraces each other, whether you are a gringo, a white American, Black American. You are accepted in Dominican Republic. Opposed to the United States. I find it that the only way you would be encircled with Dominicans is if you live next to them, you work with
mhm,
them, or pretty much go to school with them. Outside of that, you don't really find too much integrating,
mhm.
with Dominicans hanging out with blacks and so on and so on. So, do you guys find that in the United States? Do you find it that Dominicans are more segregated? They just pretty much hang out with themselves, opposed to being integrated with other nationalities.
I'm like 50-50 maybe because the ones that I've seen they don't segregate themselves as much.
Uh
They
huh.
don't like they are open minded. They hang out with different people. Like for example, it depends. Like when they first come to this country and they go to like a certain neighborhood and they are raised in that neighborhood, and they get along with people in that neighborhood. That's how they do it. Like so, if it's like say for example, If it's a Spanish and Latin and Black community, then that's what they're surrounding themselves with. If it's a white community, Latin community, that's how they surround themselves. I think that it comes from like the way they're raised.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. And what do you think? Because you're in Boston. So tell me from your perspective, like, in Boston, how is it? Is it integrated in terms of different nationalities, Dominicans, Blacks, Puerto Ricans? Is it integrated, or pretty much in Boston, the Dominican community sticks with the Dominican community?
Okay, ¿cuál es la pregunta, Philip? Si están
Okay.
integrados.
Yeah. Wait. I saw a comment that what's his name? Pressure Bus Pipes mentioned about the younger ones are integrate, the older ones are closed off. It's true. Yeah, that's that. They're more closed minded because of the culture difference.
Eh, Ok,
So going
pero,
back to your question.
ajá, ¿cuál era la pregunta que él hizo? O sea, si hay
What
mucho,
going back? Mm-hmm. Dime ahora.
si hay- ¿tú me la puedes decir en español? Si hay
Sí, sí, dime
muchos, para
ahora.
responder.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the question you asked again. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
I was
It
saying,
was cutting
like,
off.
in Boston, because I know she lives in Boston, and I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
there's a big Dominican community in
yeah,
Boston.
yeah,
How is it, the community there? Is it integrated where Dominicans hang out? With Blacks, Puerto Ricans. Is it integrated? Because I find it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I find it that here in New York,
mm-hmm.
like I said, you know, if you like, let's just say, for an example, Washington Heights. You
Yeah.
know,
More Dominicans. Yeah.
Washington Heights is predominantly Dominican. You don't really find too many. It's just straight Dominican. So
Yeah,
you don't really find too much integrating going on in Washington Heights. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So that's why I brought this out. I find it that especially if you are in a Dominican community, you don't really find too much of integration going on.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Dominicans stick with Dominicans.
yeah.
And that's pretty much how it is. From what I've seen in Washington
Mm-hmm.
Heights.
Ok.
And
So básicamente,
Sí,
what's your
que
take on that?
si,
yeah,
si son integrados ustedes, básicamente, comunidades, si son más cerrados, bueno, en Boston, básicamente, ¿cómo son los dominicanos? Si son más unidos como dominicanos o son un poco más de mente abierta, como que se juntan con gente de diferentes razas, culturas y cosas así. Ujú.
exacto. Aquí I live in Massachusetts, right? Massachusetts
Así
has,
como,
the name is Lawrence. Lawrence has I think maybe a lot Dominican, the more bigger Dominican community here. Lawrence, Lee, Massachusetts, Jamaica Plain. And the something is that they can, in my case, I told with everybody, I live in Chelsea. Chelsea has the Salvador and Puerto Rican peoples, it's more integrated. It's everybody, it's the mixed community.
Okay, so that's pretty much how it is in Boston.
si
Excuse
es
me?
así en Boston, si es así en Boston,
Of
entonces.
course, of course, of
Yeah.
course. But the city that has
Okay.
more Dominican here is Lawrence. It's
Mm.
45
So
minutes, the Boston. 45 minutes
okay. So
away.
Junior, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Junior.
How's it going,
How's it
Junior?
going,
And
guys?
you're from
Sorry I'm
you're
late.
from Long Island. You're
Todo bien,
from
todo
Long
bien.
Island like me, so you can relate. Growing up, we were exposed to diversity. You know what I mean? Really wasn't no segregation in Long Island. Everybody pretty much hung with everybody. But one thing I do notice that in the boroughs is different. It's different in the boroughs. I think culturally, in the boroughs, Puerto Ricans hang with the Puerto Ricans, blacks with blacks, Dominicans with Dominicans, opposed to Long Island. Everybody just was just integrated. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So from your take, do you feel like do you feel that way? Do you feel like it is in the United States, in New York, mainly? Was there a segregation amongst the Hispanics and the blacks and the whites?
Definitely, because when I came from DR, I lived in the Heights, 159th and St. Nicholas, and that area was all Dominicans. But then the school I went to was PS 28 on 155th. It was just you know mostly blacks and Dominicans that went to that school.
Hmm.
Once we moved
Hmm.
to Long Island, it was like everything. You had Chinese, you had whites, Canadians, you had it all. So it was
Right.
mixed race. So You had a chance to hang out with different, cultures, even the
Uh-huh.
food and everything was like, I didn't feel like I was segregated there growing up.
Mm. Hmm.
Take a diverse,
You know,
diverse.
I took, you know,
Yeah.
I got to go back to pressure. Shout out to Pressure Bust Pipes and Makes Diamonds. You know, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the older ones are closed off, only because my pops is a Harlemite. My pops, you know, was born in Harlem, 125 in Saint Nick. You know, and back then, you know, listening to my pops tell me the stories of how he grew up in Harlem. Back then, during that time, you had what was the guy? The guy was famous for the playing the drums. Tony, what was his name? A big Santana. Santana. What
And
was his name?
oh, he's a guitar player.
Um,
You mean the guitar player?
the guitar player.
Yeah,
Or
his
you
Santana.
name
talking
was
about Tito Puente?
Carlos Santana.
Carlos Santana.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guitar player.
they used to. My pops used to say that back in the day. That we're talking about in the you know the mid '60s, late '60s. You know, back then, you know, Harlem was
Mhm.
integrated. You know, you had a lot of Spanish, you had a lot of blacks. You know, and my pops used to say when my grandfather used to go to work at night, he worked a night shift. Him and his cousins would run to Central Park, and
Yeah.
they used to have a big party in Central Park. And he said during that time, the Hispanics taught the blacks how to dance salsa and how to dance merengue. Until this day, I lie to you guys not, I shit you not. My father can dance salsa merengue better than some Puerto Ricans that I know. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah. And him and my aunt both, they learned how to look. So, you know, this is why I say, you know, I was introduced to the Spanish culture from a young age, you know. My
Hmm.
mom's best friend is Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to disagree with that. You know what I mean? Only because back then, when my pops and moms were growing up, they had Hispanic friends. You know what I mean? So yeah, I find it. I must say differently. I must say that, you know, in the boroughs, you have more segregation than integration now, you know, than it was. Because even in the, you know, my cousins that grew up in the Bronx, you know, they Spanish friends. I got cousins that know how to make arroz con dule better than some Spanish people I know. You know what I'm telling you. So especially in the Bronx, you guys know that. You know,
Yeah.
the Bronx is very much integrated with, you know, black and Latino. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, uh, Nobody. I'm going to answer some of these question comments. A shout out to Business Pipes and Makes Diamonds, Easy Rollins, Crazy World, JC for what that's you, and
Nobody
Nobody
92.
92. He
Yeah.
says, but think about it. If the Dominicans are coming to a new country where they know nobody and don't even speak the language, don't you think it makes sense for them to link up with their natives? Oh, of course, of course, of
Yeah.
course. But at the same time, the Nobody 92, that is to be expected. But at the same time, I would think that, you know, somebody that's coming into the country, you would want to be open minded, you know, in terms of learning other cultures. And, you know, because that's how I am when I go to
Yeah.
Dominican Republic. I'm diving in the culture. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I want to know about the culture. So for somebody that's coming into the country, yeah, you know, you're gonna go with your people because that's all you know. But at the same time, you still got to kind of keep an open mind, you know,
Yeah.
to learn about other cultures, especially if you're coming into New York.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much diversity here, you know.
A lot of
So
diversity.
so yeah, yeah.
I would say like Topacio, starting from you, like how did you learn English? That's a like curiosity, like because you came obviously you came, you don't know the language. How did you learn the language?
En la
Did you
calle.
integrate yourself? Oh yeah.
En la
She said,
calle.
"En la calle."
Calle.
Hey, she's right because my first
Yeah.
words was "fu" and
Huh?
"mofo" in the
Sorry.
streets. I said
No, que
my
en la
first
calle se
words
aprende.
was "fu"
Oh,
and "mofo" in the street.
right.
Mala
Example.
palabra.
I know
Hmm.
not perfect, right? From try. The American people say, if you can try, that's okay. I say, okay, you know. But sometimes the Latin people say, that's wrong. Repeat again. Say, huh? O sea, the American people say, if you try, that's okay. Try. If you
Uh-huh.
practice, you can learn it more. Because as long as student in United States, I'm a student in Dominican Republic my whole life. I born there, you know. I'm try. I'm here.
So let me ask you a question. How old was you when you came to the United States?
No, that something is the first I can come here is the 1998 for visa.
Uh
Only for
huh.
in 20 days because
Okay.
I was a student at models in Dominican Republic, and I come my first time. And 2008, I come to maybe for 2008, 2008, yeah, and 2007. I'm based at New York, Brooklyn, feeling out.
Okay.
Um,
Brooklyn.
for
So
time.
I'm sorry to cut you off. What age were you when you came here permanently? ¿Cuántos
Um,
años cuando
I
tú?
I think maybe 23, 24.
Okay, so you was a full adult. So that okay. So let me ask you: being in living in Dominican Republic and coming here at 23, what was the dating? What how was dating like in DR versus dating in the United States?
Mm.
What is that? O sea, ¿qué significa dating?
Comparando, saliendo con personas, o sea, como tú sabes con tu noviazgo, primer noviazgo,
Sí,
básicamente,
también.
cuando salías con personas, comparado el amor en la República Dominicana con los Estados Unidos,
Era más sano, more
como
healthy.
saliendo, conociendo hombres, como allá, comparado con
I
qué,
know, era más
básicamente.
sano, era más,
It was
más,
more, what's the word? Sano is, it was
It's
more innocent.
yeah.
sí, era más sano porque aquí la vida es como que más rápida, la gente tiene como,
Life is faster here.
yeah, era muy
People
diferente.
move too fast here. Men move too fast here. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but
I,
I
I,
don't nah. I
yeah.
beg to, I
Defend
beg to
yourself,
differ.
JD.
I beg to differ because the women in DR move too fast. Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
que
No,
las
I
mujeres se
mean,
mueven rápido en la República.
I'm
no,
not gonna say I'm not gonna say all. I'm not gonna say all.
No
Let
son
me
todos, no son
rephrase
todos,
that
no
because
son
I don't
todos,
want
no son
nobody
todos.
jumping down my neck. But I will say that uh, some women tend to move fast, especially if you're a gringo, mommy. If you're a gringo and you go to Dominican Republic, they let's face it, they want that green card, baby. They want
no,
the green card. So they want to move fast. They trying to get over here. You know what I mean?
Oh
Let's
man.
let's be real.
sometimes. Um, era diferente. It's very different because, maybe in Dominican Republic, when they have maybe 16, 17, you can go with for one ice cream for your boyfriend, or you can stay with a park with him. Um, only kisses. Mm. And right now, everything is very different. Everything is more fast. Example, my dad. If my dad say, "Okay, you have tattoos," you are one, gangster.
Oh
Uh
man, yeah.
huh.
Back then,
Yeah.
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 And it's
Stereotyping.
funny
That
you
was the
say it's
worst. That
funny
was
you
the
say
worst.
that because I feel like in Dominican Republic, tattoos is looked down upon, looked frowned upon, opposed to here in
True.
the United States. You got a whole bunch of tattoos, you're less likely to get a job, a good job at that,
Yeah.
I think I mean, why is it? Is it because of Dominican Republic is considered more conservative in that sense? I mean,
I
I
think
don't know. You tell me. You guys tell me.
It's
No,
you
so.
it's
know,
true.
so
You can
mhm.
work in the
Go ahead.
bank or something because if you have tattoo, you are, the Dominican Republic war is tú eres un tigre, you
Tigre,
know.
yeah. You're gangster. You have like a tattoo.
Or
It's a
you
Okay.
have
big
But that
taboo.
started in
Like,
the 80s, right? If I'm not
and
mistaken.
that
Eso,
started in the
eso empezó
80s.
en los
And
80, ¿verdad? En los 80.
yeah, but now
Before
it's
teens, before
slowly
teens. Yeah.
changing because now
total.
you see like women in banks with a little tattoo right here. They hide it, something small. So it's starting to evolve. Things are starting to change. It's starting to get better. Definitely.
All right. I got somebody else that wants to come on in. Give me a minute,
First
guys. But
Pipes,
y'all go ahead. Continue on.
First Pipe
Continue on,
says,
guys.
the green they want is the money more than the travel green card. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dominicans have tattoos these days. Yeah, so the Dominicans, so yo me acuerdo back in like in 19, in the 2000, early 2000s. I remember
Mhm.
one time I was 15. No, bullshit. I was 13 in DR. I had braids, right? And everyone would look at me like I'm some weird guy. Like who's this guy with braids? All eyes were on me. So I feel like with the years, like Dominican Republic was an innocent country. They had culture, they had values, they had morals. But
Mm-hmm.
with all the people that have been deported from here, they have been a real black bad influence to the Dominican culture. So they've been
So you
integrating a lot of the things that they learned from prison, like things in prison, all the like the crimes and stuff. They've been integrating it into like the culture. If that sounds right.
So
Can I?
you, so will you say honestly? Will you say that people who have been deported
Yeah.
to Dominican Republic are they? You find it that the Dominican people are tend to get that bad influence from the deportees that have been deported to DR.
Well, the notorious Dominican gang, the notorious Dominican gang, they come from a prison in Rikers Island, and they promoted this, and there was like a huge influence into like the people, kids joining gangs and stuff at that time. So Dominican Republic, it was at a point where it was innocent, and then when people started getting deported, they started implementing these things over there. So then things started getting like you see more people with braids now because they learned this in America. They learn braids, how to wear their pants down to their whatever the case is, and then
And it's funny because I'm gonna be honest, when I travel to DR now, whether you go to Santo Domingo, Puerto Plata, Santiago, uh, just from the styles alone, you think you in fucking New York.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, like Dominican culture has replicated, the New York style of dress. I mean, to the point where
And by
I'm telling you.
replicated, literally replicated, Chinese replicated.
Literally, like I'm serious, and it's funny because says the culture in DR has changed drastically over the years. It's more
Yeah,
ghetto than ever.
yeah,
And a lot of this is what a lot of the old school Dominicans. This is how they feel. They
yeah,
feel that the youth has drastically changed the culture and making Dominican Republic as a whole look bad. You know what I
yeah.
mean? What is y'all opinions on that? Do y'all feel like the youth has changed the mindset of Dominican culture?
Yes, because of the
Mhm.
music, the rap. That's now every kid doesn't want to be. Kids don't want to be baseball players no more. They want to be
Mhm.
rappers and gangsters.
Of course.
You know, but piggyback, Flex, about what you were saying.
Mhm.
About being deported, right?
Yeah.
I was
Not,
deported
oh,
from the
not,
United
not,
States.
not all of them. Not all of them. Most of them.
Like I
Yeah.
said, I was deported from the
Yeah.
United States.
Mhm.
I was young. I was naive. I got myself in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, but like I went to school, everything. I got an education, so it's like a lot of
No, you make
the
mistakes. Yeah, make mistakes. Yeah. Mhm.
old gangsters or old, that were, you know, deported as an old as at an old age. They have a different mindset and a different, way of
Yeah.
thinking and everything. Is these new kids or these new younger generation that is getting deported, that
Mhm.
is making the
Yeah.
country,
Yeah.
um, giving us a bad name,
Mm-hmm.
Very bad
and
name.
and we ourselves, we have to change it. Like I said, I came here 7 years ago, and since the day I got here, I've been working. I've been busting my butt. Like I said, whatever I did in the past was the past,
This is the past. Yeah.
and I'm a different man. I was a
Mhm.
young kid when I got, when I went into prison, and when I came home a
Yeah.
man. So being in DR now, it's like I've been into politics. I've shook hands with the president here, something I never thought I would do.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so and sometimes we tend to, I guess, not put blame on somebody's past, but sometimes some people don't look past that. They think,
Mhm.
oh
Right.
well, he made mistakes and he's going to continue to make mistakes. So we
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
have to learn to, push each other as men and as the culture of Dominicans to try to strive and be better. Because that's something I try to do here now. I talk to
Uh-huh.
young kids. I
Yeah.
do a lot of, little different things. So
Yeah.
these
That's
young
a good
kids
thing
can
too. That's a
do
good thing. Yeah.
something
And
else.
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny you say that because I do have a friend that I went to high school with that got deported back to Trinidad. And we and him are still in touch till his day. And he tell from what his experience being a deportee in Trinidad, he told me that the deportees in Trinidad are looked down upon.
It's true.
There's no opportunities for them. And in his situation, he came into the country. He came to the United States when he was like 6, 7. So United States is all he knows. And to get deported when you're 19, and then I mean to get deported and I think he got
Yeah.
deported like in his late 20s. To go back to a country that you have nothing nothing about, it's just hard to say the least. So um, I know how they treat deportees in DR. I mean, in Tobago, how were they treated in Dominican Republic? Do they get a second chance? Is that looked down upon those who are deported?
Going back to JC, right? You know more than me, obviously, because it happened to you. But
Hmm.
what there's a thing that they because my uncle, I have a lot of friends that have been deported, obviously.
Yeah.
But they there's this thing where they it's a card you got to sign or something that if you do sign it, then is nation is the whole country like it's like you can't get a job, and some a lot of them try to avoid that. I don't know what it's called.
I never had that. I never knew that. Like I said, I left here when I
Yeah.
was 9 years old. I'm
Mhm.
47 now. You know, yes, coming back here to me, I felt weird. I felt like I'm an outsider. You know, because I was deported. Like I said,
Hmm.
in life people make mistakes. And I believe that we should all have get a second chance.
Yeah.
You know, prove yourself wrong. That's why I tell people I've proven myself wrong in these 7 years that I've been here. All the things that I've
Hmm.
done to change my life. Because if I was still that naive young kid, I would still be in the streets, running the streets.
Yeah.
And it's I'm not like I became a man. You know,
Changed.
and I
Everything.
changed. Like I said, not
Yeah.
everybody changes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Not
The
everybody
no no
wants to
I'm
change.
sorry guys. The
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
92. I sent you the link, bro. If you want to come on, I sent you the link. I'm gonna just read some of these questions. Uh, So
They
Easy
have
Roller
NO.
says NYC. He says Easy Roller says NYC has a huge influence on Dominican Republic. I do. It does. It definitely because it's like once you tell somebody a Dominicano that lives there that you're from New York, man, they all over you. Like white on rice. They want to know. They want to know the. I mean, from the dress to the music, everything. So I can agree with you on that. Easy Rollins. Graham Hughes says Dominican and Thailand same, lots of American influences. And we as America do have a major influence on a lot of countries. I mean, it is what it is. The youth are
Yeah.
influenced by Debo, which is the rap. Yeah, yeah. You will see plenty of tattoos and poorer barrios. The street culture is being pushed hard in Dominican Republic. And Nick's Nation says, no, not facts. The American culture is global. The same thing is being replicated throughout the Caribbean. The same rates in all the countries have been on the rise since the 80s.
Yeah.
And Freddie Mac
Okay. So
says,
going back.
Gringos took over. It's gonna be a wrap in 30 years. I mean, so what is y'all opinions on that? Do y'all feel like foreigners that are traveling to Dominican Republic, uh, is it going to change? Do you think that we moving into DR is it going to change the dynamics of Dominican culture? And do you think us as foreigners has a big influence on the locals that already live there? What do you guys think about that?
I honestly don't think it's gonna change. Because the young kids that are coming up now, they're not focused on school. They're not focused. They're focused on I want to make $1 million quick.
Hmm.
And it doesn't
Hmm.
have nothing to do with Americans coming here. It's just the culture that what's going on. This rap, that's when in my eyes is what I see. You know,
Hmm.
to me, Americans coming here, would bring in different jobs, would give an opportunity for us Dominicans to have like resorts and stuff like that, an opportunity to live a better life.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Easy Rollers, shout out to Easy Rollers, man. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate that, bro. And what do you think? What do you think, Flexi Mundo? What's your intake on it?
With um foreigners having a big influence in changing the culture, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm, it's 50-50 in my opinion.
Okay.
50-50, yeah.
And
They
what
could
about
have,
you,
yeah.
Tep? What about you, Tep?
Tapasi.
I can't, I hate to put. What's the pronunciation of her name
Do
again?
you know that Topacio is in Spanish.
Topacio.
That Topacio is the rock. You know the rock that topaz.
Oh, okay,
That
Yeah,
topaz.
yeah,
Topaz.
the topaz.
Okay, okay, okay. Like the gym. So do you think? Do
Yeah,
you think the
Yeah,
gringos are changing the
and
influence of
gringos.
Dominican culture? Foreigners, do you think?
of course, of course. Maybe 15 or 20 years ago, the child's student, because they have a dreams. I want to make one professional or something that, right? And right now, everybody want to make, demos artists or
Mm-hmm.
influencer or YouTuber, Everybody say,
Mm-hmm.
Gamers.
I don't need because my neighbor her making one videos and she's viral in TikTok and
Yeah.
Instagram, That's why I don't
Yeah.
want to
Yeah,
pretend.
I do think social media has played a major part, in the influence of Dominican culture, man. You're right. I find it that a lot of the youth now in DR, they want to become rappers. Uh, they want the easy way out. You know what I mean?
I
And I'm not just gonna say in DR. That's all over now. With the use of social media, nobody really wants a traditional job anymore. But
Yeah.
I find it more prevalent in DR, that everybody wants to become an artist. It's like
Yeah.
it seems like that's the most easy way out of coming out of poverty is
Yeah.
becoming a music artist. I mean, am I right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Do you know what something changed to? Because long time ago, everybody that child or that kids or that younger person is the same. Right now has two parts, the poppy and the wah wah wah. Do you know what it is?
Really, you
No,
gotta
I
come up
don't
with that
know.
one.
Tell me, D-Man.
Uh,
Ah,
I
Dile,
said
dile, yeah, you
D-Man.
already talked about it. What,
exactly.
what?
You are, like ghetto or the barrio. You are wah wah wah. If you listen dembow or I don't know, other music, you are wah wah wah. If you are money or your mom has money or you live in the good place, the puppies are listen regularly American music.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like puppies are like people like example like if we at a fancy restaurant and we're eating fancy food or we just like talking
Yeah,
like we sound educated when we're talking and we dress a
yeah,
certain way, we're considered puppies, educated
very
people, like the high class.
Jay, that's like considered how like hood, and then we had like in Long Island, we had the hood, and then we had the uppity, the rich
The
people,
upper yeah, the
the rich
uppity
Yeah, yeah,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right,
like
yeah,
that,
right.
just
yeah.
like that.
Okay. It's the same way. Guys, it's 22 of you guys in here. I just need you guys to hit the like, share, and subscribe. If y'all don't know where the like button is, it's the three dots
But
on the in the top right corner, and that will enable you to hit the like button.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think. Okay,
read
so
some.
on his question, I'm
Uh,
sorry.
Go
Freddie
ahead.
Mac, he says, but Dominican Republic is going to be just like the United States. I I don't agree 100% on that one because the Dominican Republic is made out of two sides. So we have the Chinese and we have the U.S. So it's never going to be fully Americanized. You're always going to have the Chinese
Okay.
trying to invade and the Americans trying to take over. So it's a constant battle with both. So it's never going to
All
happen.
right. Now, since y'all are all Dominican, excluding myself,
Hmm.
I want to just change the narrative a little bit. And people don't like to talk about these kind of questions only because they feel like it brings up it draws up controversy. But I'm going to ask it anyway. Coming from your perspective, with the influx of Haitians coming in to the Dominican Republic, do you think that is going to change part of the Dominican culture uh, at some point?
I don't think so.
That's a hard topic to talk
Yeah,
about because
okay.
it's gonna be a forever going on topic. It's never gonna have an
yeah,
ending to it.
it's
Yeah.
and it's not that I don't like to talk about it, right? But I guess since I was raised in the States and we didn't see these issues like that, like I'm seeing it now living here,
Uh huh.
it's like it makes it hard on me. Like I said, I grew up with a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people. But now, me living here now, I see I don't want to say hatred because I don't like to use the word hate,
Right.
but the back and forth of
Injustice? Would you
Haitians and
say
Dominicans.
injustice?
Yes,
Injustice?
injustice and things that are happening with the Haitian people. Like I said, I believe, you know, we should not that we should all be divided because I don't like to divide people, but they need to have their government or their their people look out for them first before another nation goes ahead and does it for them.
Right.
Because
Right.
we can't go in there and try to help them. But if they don't want to help themselves, how is
Right.
anybody else going to help them? So
Right.
they need to
Right.
fix their backyard first before we
Mm-hmm.
can,
the
do
the
something
the
for them.
the thing with the Haitians, you gotta know it's history. So when you go
Hmm.
back in history in Haitians, this is why I understood Haitians, and I always love Haitians. We even had my grandfather had a Haitian working with us, Johnny. He got deported, obviously, but they tried to get him back and his family, whatever the case is. But he
Mm-hmm.
got back. The thing with Haitians is that Haitian was the first black republic, right? It wasn't the first black republic or the first black country
Yeah.
with a president, the
The
government.
first free black nation. Yeah.
Free black
Exactly.
nation.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you have one nation that has a black government established and you have all these other nations with white established governments, what's gonna happen? They'll be like, we don't want this. You guys already know the history.
Mm-hmm.
So they were the way they killed Hades was with debt. You have to pay us back, and they just take everything, even the agriculture. They were, I think it was their, I'm not sure if it was the sugar cane or what it was that they
Sugarcane.
were
Yeah, it was big in
and
sugarcane.
it left their lands dry, like one part of the land dry because of that, because they were trying to pay over this debt. So when people say that they put it upon themselves, I don't agree with that. They never put it upon themselves. Back then, it
Mm-hmm.
was a depression with the racism, a lot of things going on. They didn't like the blacks, and obviously we all have black in us. We have, but they were abused, bro. They were abused. So I definitely understand where the Haitians are coming from and why they are the way they are and why they act the way they are and why
Mm-hmm.
they even act like defensive towards us Dominicans as well. I understand them, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame them for that because
Uh-huh.
they've been like like attacked all these years, and it's like you have to understand that it's like the African Americans in the U.S. Compared to whites.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of to this day people still deny it, but a lot of blacks still have a lot of hatred towards whites because of the history that's gone. The history and
And
everything.
it's funny you say that because I had a viewer that said that us Americans are so deep on big on race and deep, and I had my rebuttal to that is that
Uh-uh.
it's no
Yeah,
different from the history with Dominican Republic and Haiti. It's deep rooted. It's deep
yeah,
rooted. When
yeah,
you come from a country where slavery was prominent and our people were raped, murdered, drowned. Like, I mean, just countless of gruesome acts that
yeah,
our people had to endure. So all of that is deep rooted, and this is one of the reasons why race is such a big thing in America. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's deep
Go.
rooted, especially our people not getting any reparations for what happened. The Jewish
Mhm.
got their reparations. You know what I mean? We
Yeah,
we are the only race of people where we got no reparations. If you look at the history of Black Wall Street and what happened in Oklahoma and all, the black people in the United States at one time, were rich. We had money, and here it is, the white government just came and took it all away.
yeah,
So this is one of the reasons why, for people who wonder, because people that are not from the United States, they tend to, they have those kind of views on us being, big on race, and it's the reason why. It's
yeah,
the history that our ancestors had to endure. So it comes from a deep rooted past.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dominican and Haitians are the same. The thing is that we all know one was governed by Spanish and another one was governed by French. That's the only thing that makes them different.
Hmm. But it's funny because a lot of people talk about they say Dominicans are made up of African, European descent, and Taino, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So this is my thing. Uh, where are the like how we have Native Americans, like, because the Taino were native to Dominican Republic? Am I correct? They were the natives before Christopher Columbus came and invaded
Taínos.
Dominican
Yeah.
Republic. It was the Tainos there, right? So
Mhm.
when people say that they have Taino blood, like, we still have Native Americans, that we can actually see. What happened to the Taino race? Like, there's no pure Taino blood in Dominican Republic anymore. Am I correct?
Taino blood.
Like how we have Native Americans, there is, what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
Dominican no longer has native Dominicans because the
Okay.
natives
Es
were pretty much killed off.
So yeah.
There's a small percentage.
como ok, como aquí en América todavía hay como pequeñas tribus de indios,
Sí.
pero en República Dominicana ya no hay taínos, no existe.
So she's
No hay
saying
ni
like
un,
like in the US
ni
they
un
have
por
like
ciento hay.
No hay, o
Wait,
sea,
say that.
como aquí
Say,
Sí.
lo único que hay lo llevamos a la pena, pero no hay taínos.
We don't.
Y el
She's saying
tema
we
de
don't
Jimmy me
have
hubiese
Tainos. We just have it in our blood because they're all been, you know,
wiped out.
yeah,
okay, aquí
pretty much wiped out.
yeah.
Okay.
Colón se lo llevó para España.
All right, I'm gonna just read some more of these questions.
I don't want to laugh at that one.
She said. She said that. She
Colón
said
se fue
Christopher
a
Columbus took them all to
They
Spain.
come
Yeah,
back
he's
aquí.
like, let's get on the taxi, but let's go together. Come on, guys.
He took all the Tainos to Spain, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to read some more of these questions. Crazy World. And the gangs are making it harder for people to live there. Nick's Nations 112 says DR should celebrate Haitian. They liberated people of color through this hemisphere. The propaganda allows the separation to continue. He also says the people saying a black from the like people saying black from the Bronx is different from black from Queens. Graham Hughes, I have got to admit, last time I visited, I was shocked in the downtown northern tourist areas how many Americans were hanging and basically loitering around. Uh, and that's one thing I find. I find it that you know DR. Why
But they're
is
not
it?
American. I don't. They keep confusing this whole thing with Americans. You also have Canadians. It's not just Americans. I don't know why people keep thinking
Thank you,
American.
thank you.
You have
You
Canadians,
have America.
Spaniards, like yeah. But
And what? This is what I don't understand. Dominican Republic is a beautiful country. I have traveled to a few Latin countries, and one thing I will say about Dominican Republic, why is it that they don't keep the environment clean in terms of the loitering and stuff? It's just it's bad. It's bad.
Government. It's
bro,
the
you know that I
government.
was driving in the Capitol. I'm sorry, guys. And this woman just threw a bag, literally, out the window, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Like,
Ujú.
she threw a bag of food out the window. I'm like, "What?"
They just don't care. It's they started putting these 20-foot containers in the street as garbage cans, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they
Uh,
painted them and everything. People throw the garbage on the side of it instead of throwing it inside the garbage.
Yeah.
mhm.
Like I don't get it. Like
Guys,
it's like
ahora mismo
She was.
eso ha cambiado. O sea, la cultura de la basura en República Dominicana ahora mismo está más consciente. Antes, yo recuerdo en el barrio, cuando llovía, que el camión pasaba una vez a la semana y caía mucha lluvia, todo el mundo sacaba la basura y la tiraba en la acera y eso corría. Así era antes.
no, ahora te
Dirección.
dan una multa. Ahora están dando, gracias a Dios, están dando
Oh,
multa
bueno,
por eso.
ahora hay más conciencia. O sea, si quieren
Sí.
ser.
Pero
Una cosa
todavía
así.
hay sectores donde tú vas y tiran la basura en la esquina. It's like,
Sí, pero sí,
yeah,
exactamente.
La gente que no tiene
Pero,
ciencia común.
no,
you
like,
know,
Common
siempre
sense,
te
like,
digo,
So,
good.
and
never,
this is another question I want to ask because we talked about Haiti because it seemed like DR had conflict with. I'm not gonna Haiti and DR have conflict with each other, right?
and it's
And
never
then
gonna
you
stop.
got
It's like the Jewish and
But wait, hold on. But what about Puerto Rico and DR? Like, what's the conflict with Puerto Rico and DR, man?
That's I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't even.
Bro, I
We're
got
like
stuck in Puerto Rico, bro.
we're like miles away. I don't know. And it's crazy because I heard
Yeah.
Abinader is trying to build some underground
Electricity.
electric
La
thing
planta
to give
electricita
them.
para darle luz
How
a
are you
Puerto
gonna
Rico.
give them the electric when our electricity here is messed up? Like I don't get that. Can we get our country fixed first before you try to help another nation once again?
No, but
uh,
the issue with
I,
Puerto Rico and DR is the culture difference. So they always como el mofongo, o sea que ellos tienen
You
mofongo,
my
el
good.
mofongo, el mangú. They
Yeah.
always had this thing like, oh, my mofongo is better, your
it's
mangú is
better
this.
than
Como,
better
Yeah.
than.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
That
well, you know what?
Puerto Rican can play in Dominican Republic say, no, this is my play, you know.
yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
always
Pero eso
follow with
como
a
Tom
play
y Jerry.
mangú,
You know
mofongo,
Tom y
mofongo.
Jerry? Do you know Tom
Huh?
y Jerry? El gato y el
Yeah, Tom.
ratón del...
Yeah,
Tom
ok.
and
Tom and
Jerry, yeah,
Jerry.
the cartoon.
No pueden estar lejos, pero tampoco pueden estar, o sea, no pueden estar
Can't be too far from each
separados.
other or too close to each other. They like Tom and Jerry,
Exactly.
Puerto Rico and DR, yeah. But they love each other. They
You
love each
know,
other.
I
Yeah.
will say because I've been to both. I've been to both. I've been to Puerto Rico and I've been to DR, right? And I took my family to Puerto. They went to Puerto Rico before they went to DR, and I find it. This is just my take. I could be wrong, you know. I find it that the Puerto Ricans, and mind you, I'm talking about the Puerto Ricans from Puerto Rico, not the Puerto Ricans here in the United States. You know, they're different. They're different. But I find it that the native Puerto Ricans tend to be a little bit more bougie. You know, they a little
Native
bit
Puerto Rican.
more.
Yeah, native Puerto
Yeah,
Rican is true. And
Lo
they
que
don't
están aquí,
like
lo que están aquí.
I
New
find it.
Yorkers either. We
No, lo que
don't
están
Yeah,
aquí.
I find them. Huh?
No, lo que están en Puerto Rico, él dice.
You find them to be bougie, more bougie than the ones
A
here?
little bit more, uppity, only because, like traveling into DR, I've always like Dominicans have, oh, they embrace you with open arms, like, hey, get
Yeah, yeah.
okay, what's up, I didn't get that in Puerto Rico. I didn't get that, I was in San Juan. I was talking to one of the cab drivers, trying to, embrace the
Yeah.
culture, speaking Spanish. And you know what she told me? She was like, I speak English. And I was like,
That's why.
I was like,
They
okay.
Oh,
feel
I was
like
like,
oh,
they're
what?
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What?
ah,
yeah.
I'll be like, no
So
tip, bang, right
at
there.
that moment, at that
no tip.
once I experienced that at that moment, I said to myself, now I see why Dominicans and Puerto Ricans don't get along.
Yeah.
Now I kind of could see it. Like I said, and my mother's best friend is Puerto Rican. It's nothing to Puerto Ricans. You know what I mean? But that's just my experience. I found them to be a little bit more not so welcoming like you would get in
Yeah.
DR. You know what I
It's like
mean?
when you get on a plane. I got on a plane ride to Puerto Rico because I got stuck there for like for a minute, and then when it landed, I'm like this and no one is clapping. No, I'm like, okay, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Like no one was clapping, bro. I was like, okay.
And that's one thing that as a Dominican, we and
Oh
we've been
man.
doing that for years. Since back in the 70s. My
Yeah.
grandmother left here in the 70s, and she used to tell me they got there, they clapping. So it's like that's
Freddie
something
Mac
that
says new vibes.
And
we
and you know what another culture shock for me is, like DR, like I said, Dominicans come with all shades. You know what I mean? All
Yeah.
shades. As light as you guys as dark as me and Junior. But
No, I'm dark,
I
bro.
just said it was nah
It's
nah
dark.
I'm
nah
tan, bro.
you what
I got
what
the I
nah
got a tan color,
you
buddy.
you
What's
ain't
up?
nah, you ain't Moreno, you Blanco, bro, you Blanco, you is not you
And I
is
gotta get
not
more tan, bro.
Moreno.
I gotta get tanner, bro. I love my tan. I love my tan.
Nah, but my first encounter of seeing a Afro Puerto Rican, bro, I was shocked. I was shocked because it was like, in order to see them, you got to go up in the, like it's like they tucked in their own
Yeah,
community in Puerto
Yeah, yeah.
Rico,
Loíza has the highest black Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico.
And I think that's
Loisa,
where I
Loisa.
was at. I
Loíza,
think I
yeah, in Puerto
was.
Rico.
Yeah, and that's where I was. I was in Louisa, and I found it was like a lot of black Puerto Ricans.
And that's where Tego Calderon comes from.
Diego
Okay,
Calderón, welcome.
okay.
Hmm. That's where he was born.
So even
Guys,
because I'm
I
like,
need
yo, damn,
living.
Te vayan.
huh?
Yes, I need living because my son has appointment to the 1 p.m. I'm very late.
Okay.
Okay,
Nos vemos.
Tapakio, thank
You.
you for coming on. We appreciate you.
Sí.
Yes, and bring some more. I'm sure the man love it. So you gotta come back on. Definitely eye candy.
Okay, thank
Definitely eye candy.
Whatever.
you. Bye.
All
Take
right.
care.
We got a couple of more
But
surprise guests. No, just kidding.
nah. Well, you guys, we got some more coming on next week. Y'all stay tuned for more. But yeah, man, I found it that the Puerto Ricans just seem to be a little bit more white nose.
I
opposed to
think it's a
DR. And
culture too,
even
like the
it's
culture
funny,
too.
even when like after I brought my family to Puerto Rico, right? As soon as we got off the plane in DR, and they just peeped the vibe.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, we ain't even go nowhere yet. Yo, we just a second out of the airport. And you know what my family said? They was like, oh yeah, I know this. Just from what the scene, they was like, this is gonna be a movie out here. And after it was all said and done, I said, y'all, so tell me, um, DR or Puerto Rico, which they was like, nah, DR hands down. DR hands down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think it's all because of the DR people just more welcoming, man. They're more
Yeah, we show
embracing.
more
Like
love.
y'all
Yeah.
do for hands
Like we
down,
don't care
hands
where you
down.
come from. We're gonna show love to anyone that comes to our country
Mhm.
because then we know they're gonna appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so
I mean, Puerto Ricans
Now,
like mhm.
for somebody coming into DR for the first time who has never really experienced DR culture, like what advice would you give them, or where would you direct someone who's looking to just dive into the DR culture? And I'm talking about more so old school culture because like I feel like the culture is changing. The influence of the rap music, the influence of America and social media is really that old DR culture is starting to fade away, bro. I really do. I think in the next 10 years, it's gonna be phased out to Debo music. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
No, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no,
bimbo.
no.
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta
gonna be
disagree,
phased
bro.
out to
I
you. You
hope
you
not.
disagree?
No,
You
no.
you disagree?
Yeah, man, bachata never, because the bachata is like the culture. It's like the bachata merengue is always gonna be there. You can never dembo. You know what I think dembo might have a phase. Like there's a everything has like a time frame. Like for dembo,
Like a
it
time
might
frame.
it might like die out. For merengue, because merengue is
Mhm.
international, it's worldwide. Bachata is now worldwide everywhere. Dembo just got in the market not a couple of years ago, but it's like I feel like bachata and merengue is always gonna be there. It's that music that anybody can dance to. It's a culture music. So
And
Mhm.
Jay, also, I would definitely recommend people to come, right? When they
yeah,
do come to DR, come to the capital and come to La Zona Colonial. You're going to
yeah,
learn a lot in La Zona Colonial because you
Mhm.
have Anetán lo Padre de la Patria, you have Christopher Columbus, so you get a little bit, and also if you could visit a campo where you can see how people still live and they cook
yeah,
and wood and how regular you know
Yeah.
yeah.
a country person would live. That's something good to see.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've
I will
experienced
also
that, man. Because one thing I've always wondered, because like when they cooking with the firewood, I
pretty
always said
much.
to myself, yo, how the hell do they regulate the temperature with that? And
That's
my
just
boy, yeah, my boy told me, he's like, yo, once that fire is how you just start pull out the stick that has the most fire, and that's how you
Mhm.
you you regulate you regulate the temperature.
yeah.
Graham
Yeah.
Hogs, bro. Graham Hogs. Bachata is the boss.
Graham Hughes. He said Pachata
That is the
is the
boss.
boss for me. It is for
The
me
Freddie
too,
Mac
man.
is
That listen, I listen. If you want to pull a girl, man, learn how to dance.
yeah,
That's one thing I have learned about Latin culture. A
Yeah.
woman loves a man that knows
yeah,
how to put in the footwork, man. You learn how to dance, man. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You got it. You got it. Because a
yep.
Latin woman loves a man that could dance. That's one thing I learned, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, also like I recommend for people that do travel to DR, we have. Well, I don't want to put him on blast, but we have JC Productions right here. He could be a tour guide, and if
Yeah,
you guys
As a matter of
I
fact,
meant
come
to
up with
say
a
in the
plan,
next slide, I do Uber service. Um, I mainly do it because I'm starting a new job, but I do it. I'll be doing it more on the weekend than anything, or anytime before 11. Like I said, I'm
yeah,
starting to go into a different business, but I I do services. If y'all want to take down my number, I'll put it in the private chat, and Jay
mm,
or Flex, give it out.
there you go. Yeah, definitely.
mhm.
I'll give it out. I'll share mine from my side.
Yeah, for
Like I
sure, for
recommend like if
sure.
you do go to DR guys, like for example, like like JC Productions, I recommend if you've never been to the country, talk to a tour guide or someone that you're cool with from the country and come up with a travel plan. Say, let's go to the coast. this travel, then the next trip I'm gonna go to the central, then the next trip I'm gonna go to this place. Do place by place. Do like a travel plan where you can stop at certain places, the numerous amount of places in one trip, and then get familiarized with that location, and then if you like it, next time you go to it, or if not, you go to another location, and that's how you get familiar. Oh, am I saying it wrong?
Familiarized.
Yeah, with the
Familiarized,
country,
yeah.
and then you might like it, and that's how you learn. So travel 2-3 times. JC Productions again. I'm promoting him.
Thanks.
So
Hey,
you can
my
do that,
name,
you know? Yeah,
my
yeah,
name is Junior.
yeah,
That is my
definitely.
real name. Americans always hate to ask me, Junior, real name? Yes, that is. It's on my birth certificate. Junior
The,
Alejandro.
the best thing you would want is to get drunk and know that you have a tour guide that's gonna take you safely home, not somebody that's gonna
Right,
Exactly.
rob you.
right.
So you're gonna
Yeah,
get
and you
drunk,
know,
have a
and
good
I
time. Like,
tell,
hey, I got a tour guide, he's gonna take care of me, and that's it. So
yeah, yeah,
And
I
it
tell
speaks
people
the
that all the
language
time,
too.
man.
yeah,
What'd you say?
And then it speaks the language because,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
for
Right,
sure.
it's definitely a bonus. Definitely a bonus.
Yeah,
You know, especially like when I went to the TNT, Trinidad and Tobago. Bro, I had my own tour guide. He took me all over the country, man. I mean, Tobago's about this small, so you can tour the whole island in a day. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I always tell people, yo, spend the extra money, get the tour guide, let him show you every nook and cranny of the country. You know what I mean? That way you get the full experience. You know
Yeah,
what
the
I'm
first
saying?
place,
The
yeah,
full
yeah,
experience.
and you know what's crazy, Jay? That Dominicans could go to Trinidad and Tobago visa free, and they don't do it.
yeah. That's
Why
crazy.
not? Yo, guys,
They even
I
have the
tell
flight, bro.
y'all,
The flight with the cheap,
Yes,
the
I
they
wouldn't
cheapest
I
have
flight.
it.
wouldn't
You know,
We
say
have
Bolivia.
I wouldn't
activity.
say from my experience, I wouldn't really recommend to Trinidad so much because it's a dangerous place. You really got to know somebody, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then
It's
what
bad,
really
bad.
fucks me up too, what fucks me up with Trinidad is the roads. The cars on the left hand side, the wheels on
Yeah,
the yeah, I
Oh, like
end up
Jamaica,
in
like Jamaica.
somebody's drive. Yeah, I end up in
Yeah.
fucked up out there. You know what I mean? So yeah. But if you
A
if
lot
you
of
want to
Dominicans travel
go.
to Jamaica and back. I've noticed that a lot. A lot of Dominicans and Jamaicans are back, like travel back and
Oh
forth.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
for those of you guys who don't know,
yeah,
Dominican Republic and Jamaica have teamed together to
yeah.
boost tourism, so that people,
Hmm.
you can catch a round trip flight to what's the capital, Kingston, for
Falford, I
about,
think so,
yeah,
right?
Kingston for like $200. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Outside
have a
of
new
that, yeah.
airline. There's a new airline, Dominican airline. I think it's called Falfed, something like that, and
no,
Well,
it's
I
super
heard of
cheap.
Autojet,
Amerijet,
What's
Amerijet.
it called?
Auto,
Arahet?
Autojet,
Arahet, yeah, Arahet. Yeah,
out of
Arahet,
head.
Arahet. Yeah, Arahet.
Yeah, and they're
It's a
gonna be
super
flying
cheap airline, bro.
internationally
It's
soon,
nice.
so
Yeah.
they're gonna be
Yeah,
flying
I know.
more.
I know you can. I know you can get Colombia, Venezuela,
Salvador,
Brazil,
Yeah.
Salvador,
Brazil.
Guatemala,
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
Peru.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
And
sure if
and it's
Americans
and it's
flew into
honestly
Venezuela.
it's
Mhm.
cheaper. It's cheaper to fly
Yeah.
out. It's cheaper to fly out of
To
DR
Miami,
to
then?
these other countries versus
Oh,
leaving from the United States. You know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, guys, I enjoyed this conversation, man. It's 28 of you guys on the live. I'm gonna need y'all to hit the like, share, and subscribe, man. And I appreciate all the love and support. I appreciate all the comments. Yo, this comment section is going crazy down here. I
What we
think
could
because I
do is
mentioned, yo, once I mentioned Haiti, they just started going in. And they
Well,
just started
we can
going
have a
in.
topic if they want. We can have a topic about how Dominicans view Haitians and how Haitians view Dominicans. Like,
Well, that
definitely they want to have that.
that's something that I planned
Maybe
on
the
doing a
Haitian guest.
private. Yeah, that's something I planned on doing a private chat. I want to do a private to talk
Yeah,
about certain things that people don't want to. You know what I mean? Because you got
yeah, yeah,
some people that want to hear it and some people don't. So
yeah, yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
rather those kind of topics that are controversial. I'd rather do that in a private chat. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
definitely,
for
definitely agree.
sure. But yeah, guys, I thank you guys for all the love and support, and continue to hit the like, share, and subscribe. We got every Saturday between 12 and 1 o'clock. I'll be having a different interview on. And if you guys are interested in coming on the platform to share your experience, or to provide informative information for people who are looking to navigate in DR, by all means, you guys can contact me at taylorjayson01 and before I end this live, if you guys want to give out your social media handles, you can give them out, and then I'll leave them in the description box too.
Yeah, it's gonna be Fleximundo.
Okay, where they
Yeah,
fly Fleximundo on IG? Where?
IG, Instagram, and YouTube.
Okay.
Which
And
one?
you,
Yeah.
Junior?
You can find me on IG at JuneCab809 and YouTube JC_production /G5G.
All right. And guys, if you guys have any topics or anything that y'all want me to bring up, for the next interview, by all means let me know. I love to get you guys' thoughts and opinions on what you think and what you want us to talk about on the platform. All right. So until next time, guys, I'll be talking to y'all soon. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday
God
and
bless
y'all be
everybody.
safe out there.
Have a good
Thanks
Saturday,
again for
man. God
watching,
bless.
guys. Take care.
Everyone be blessed.
I'll see ya.
All right.